What's up, everybody? This is Matt from Blacktop Mojo, and that just happened.
Hey guys, it is Front Row Joe with That Just Happened. Look who we bumped into. We bumped into this guy over here with Blacktop Mojo. Matt, very happy to have you, to see you in Florida finally, and really glad that you made time, right? About time. So very happy you guys are here.
We are glad to be back, brother. It is welcome. It's much welcome. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we know it's very well documented that small town Texas is where you're coming from, where you were raised, where you grew up. What did teenage Matt James do in Russ, Texas?
Oh man, like a lot of teenage boys, I played football. I played baseball, track, basketball. I kind of tried my hand at every sport that I could. And, I filled up my time doing that.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Ever head up 155 to Lake Palestine with some warm beers that you stole from your daddy's stash?
Yeah, we might have done that a couple of times, man. We call that back road, and we go out on them county roads. 155, you want to steer clear of that. There's a lot of cops on 155. So,
so you know the back roads, though. You know the back roads.
Drive, kids. Yeah,
we don't condone that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, answer me this too. So you guys have really exploded. Where does or how does a small town Texas upbringing or experience seep into your music today?
There's definitely a lot of Southern influences. I'd say we're very influenced by a lot of the great Southern bands like Marshall Tucker Band and Leonard Skinner and Molly Hatchet, and a lot of those guys we grew up listening to. A lot of country music. I was telling somebody today, the only two stations that came through on my clock radio growing up were the country station or the Tejano station. So you had to choose one or the other, and I wasn't that good in Spanish class, so I had to choose the country station a lot of the time.
Yeah. And playing the accordion is not as sexy as playing the guitar, right?
I beg to differ. Accordion's pretty sexy.
I like it. So another great thing about Texas and small town Texas are the phrases, the catchphrases. Do you have any phrases that are specific to Texas that you can share with those that aren't maybe as familiar?
We kind of got a phrase that kind of came about in our friend group. Anytime somebody says, "Hey man, you want to go drink some beer?" we say, "Come on." And that actually ended up being the name of our record label that we started. So it's Come On Records. So it's just kind of an inside joke that went a little bit too far.
Yeah. I like it. What about maybe you can play interpreter for everyone else? What about yonder? What's yonder?
Yonder is far away. That is up yonder, down yonder, over yonder. It's a very versatile word.
And there's no, it can be any length of measurement you want, right? It's not 2 miles.
It's not specific, but you know it when you see it.
What about fixing to?
Fixing to is when you're about to do something. You're fixing to go eat lunch. You're fixing to leave for work. You get it. Yeah.
I love it. So, you've got 3 records out now. We're going to talk about the latest and greatest, but what I want to do is go back to the first one. I Am was your very first time in the studio, very first studio record. You're a young-ish band.
Yep.
And then you had Burn the Ships, where you guys kind of gelled more or less. You got some new blood in the band. Kiefer came in. And now the newest record, Under the Sun. What does that say about the band?
I would say it shows our progression from just being a kind of a weekend warrior band to being full-time musicians. Whenever we made Burn the Ships, we were all, for the most part, working day jobs, and we would only really play on the weekends. We never really got to tour or do anything crazy like that, like we're doing now. We just spent 50 days on the road. We could have never imagined doing anything like that when we were making Burn the Ships. But everybody quit their jobs, and we all moved into a house together right before we went and tracked that record, and just kind of took a gamble on it. And I think a lot of that's in that record right there, and a lot of what's in Under the Sun is just kind of everybody being able to kind of hone their craft a little bit, so to speak. We got to get off the road last year, basically lock ourselves in that house together, and push ourselves to the point where we wanted to kill each other and try to make the best tunes possible.
Yeah. And speaking of the last 3 records, Philip Mosley has been the producer for you guys. How important or integral is he and what he brings to the table for you guys?
He's definitely a Silent Six member, man. He's helped us craft a lot of those songs. A lot of the times, especially on the first 2 records, we would have a very rough outline of an idea and not have the capacity to record it or put it together or arrange it in a necessarily what would be able to be recorded and put down on a record. Which is where your producer comes in on pretty much every record that you've ever heard. They take what the band has come up with and really focus it into something that is palatable for everybody to listen to, I guess. Yeah.
And obviously he shares the Blacktop Mojo vision.
Absolutely, man. We did. Yeah, he wouldn't have done all 3 of our records if he didn't. You know, I mean, he's a very smart guy. He's very good at music theory. I mean, he picks up all the pieces, and he knows how we work together. He knows kind of how to drive everybody and push everybody to do the best they can. So
Excellent. Whenever we're talking about recording a record, I've talked with other artists that say records are basically a capture of a point in time of the life of the band or the individual members. So what was going on with you or Blacktop Mojo during Under the Sun? What time frame are we looking at on this record for you guys?
Lyrically, I'd say a lot of the songs on this one have to do with the foibles of being a young person and trying to find romance in the modern age, I guess, or any age, really. I mean, it's not that much different. We're just able to talk to each other a little easier nowadays. But I wrote a lot of the lyrics on this one, and they all come from personal experience for the most part. So
okay. And when you go into the studio and you have an idea for an album, is there any consideration to for you guys in particular? Is there any consideration to a theme or a storyline or something like that, and maybe specifically Under the Sun?
Usually the theme kind of comes as all the songs start to take shape. We usually get a collection of songs going, and then a lot of the times there's a common theme that arises from all the different subjects of the songs, and we never have thus far we have never set out for like a concept album of like Tommy or something like that, where you got that concept ahead of time and then you write everything after that. So
it just kind of happens organically for you guys.
Right.
You guys are an indie band, independent meaning you're self-sufficient. You talked about Come On Records. You finance your productions and your records. What's the advantage that you guys have seen to doing it that way?
Nobody gets to tell us what to do, man. Nobody really gets to tell us where to go. We get to do everything our own way, and that's a rare thing these days.
So whatever you hear on the albums, that's straight 100% Blacktop Mojo. That's not an A&R guy. Saying.
No label gets to come in and say, hey man, I don't hear a single, or hey, I don't think this is ready, or you need to keep writing, or anything like that. It's just what we think is ready and what we think should go on the record is what's on the record. So
that's excellent. So we like to wrap up the interview with a That Just Happened moment for you. One of the things that stand out is pretty epic, and when after it happened to you, you were like, that just happened. Does anything pop out in your brain?
We did get to play with Sammy Hagar one time. It was South by Southwest, and they called us up. He was filming his TV show. It's called Sammy Hagar's Rock and Roll Road Trip, and he was interviewing Daryl McDaniels from DMC. So we got to meet him too. But we were playing, we were warming up, sound checking. We were the backing band for the show, so they wanted us to play a DMC song. So we got to play "It's Tricky." And then we actually got to play Rock Candy by Montrose. But we were sound checking, and we were waiting on those guys to show up, basically, and they were setting up the set and everything. And out of the corner of my eye, Sammy Hagar just walks in, and it's just like, yeah! And we're like, your heart skips a beat.
Yeah,
You're
sure,
like, oh, crap. That's him. But he was just the most genuine, nice guy on the planet, and it was really cool.
That is cool. That's certainly a great.
So literally, like something you hallucinate in a fever dream. He walks by, and you're just like, yeah.
Did he give you any of that Cabo Wabo, a little sampling of his drink?
Oh yeah, man. We had a little tequila.
There we go. That's awesome. Well, again, certainly appreciate it. Can't wait for the show tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Matt, Blacktop Mojo, and that just happened.